Read the polls, Jack. Remember when President Biden snapped at a reporter for asking that question last week? The question was in response to a New York Times poll that showed 26% of Democrats would prefer someone else to be their party's candidate in 2024. And earlier, we showed you a new Morning Consult poll that shows President Biden's approval rating is now below 50% in 44 states across the country. Well, now even the Washington Post has put together a list of 10 different candidates, Democratic candidates, they say they would recommend to run in 2024. So Biden does top this list, I will say, but why even put a list together if the incumbent is qualified? Well, joining us to discuss is today's company, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee and former Pennsylvania Senator and senior Newsmax political analyst Rick Santorum. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Good to have you. Governor, I'm going to start with you. So I think this is, obviously they have to put Biden at the top of the list, but like I said, why do you have a list if the president is the guy who should be on the ticket? He's obviously said several times now, I'm going to run in 2024. So how do you convince him not to run?
It's kind of amazing the Washington Post did this because as president, he's the titular head of the Democrat Party. And they're basically saying, yeah, he's the guy because we're sort of obligated to support him. But man, if we had a choice, here's 9 other people that sure would be better. Now, I don't blame them. I mean, Joe's policies are killing the country. His approval rating is somewhere just south of COVID in Congress. So this is not a guy who's lighting up America with great feelings of appreciation. And the Democrats know it, and they know they're going to take a beating come November. So sure, they're looking for somebody else, and I'm pretty sure it won't be Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be her either. Senator, I do want to run through some of the people on this list. It's fascinating because obviously Biden number 1, Pete Buttigieg makes number 2, not even Kamala Harris, to the governor's point. VP Harris is number 3. Then we have Senator Amy Klobuchar, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, AOC even made the list. What I was surprised to see is that you didn't have Hillary Clinton on there or Michelle Obama.
Well, the people who are on there are the folks that ran last time. Those are the top contenders, are all folks who were in the last race and showed at least somewhat well in the Democratic primary in 2020. And then you have a few new faces: Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, and Roy Cooper, and of course AOC, who's the fresh face of the Democratic Party. I think it's going to a lot depend on how President Biden and the Democrats do in midterms. If it's a route, which, as Mike alluded to, it looks like it's going to be, I think that you're going to see a real introspection of the Democratic Party trying to figure out whether they can go the direction of the Bill Clinton approach, a third way to try to win back the middle of America. If they don't do that, or if they don't get routed in the midterms, I think you're going to see the AOC, the Bernie Sanders, the Elizabeth Warren. They'll be the top contenders for the nomination.
Governor, is there anyone on this list that Republicans should be fearful of running? Because I think that many Republicans are hoping it is Joe Biden. I mean, that's a shoo-in for Republicans. We know that won't go well. So anyone that Republicans should fear?
I mean, there's only 2 ways to run in an election: unopposed and scared. So yeah, you fear everybody. But if you look at that list very carefully, I'm not seeing anyone who's a great communicator, whose policies are overwhelming. I do think if the Democrats have a shot, it's going to be with somebody who's not in Washington. It'll be the Roy Cooper. It'll be the governor of Colorado. It won't be Gavin Newsom. I cannot imagine that he would be able to say, hey, let me be president. I'll do for America what I've done for California, and I've so killed it that people are rushing for the exits. I just can't see that being a platform any politician would want to run on.
Such a great point. He's at an exodus from his state. I do want to bring something up as we're talking about 2024. Donald Trump made some waves last week in an article with New York Magazine, where he pretty much said that his decision is made up, that he's just waiting for the right moment to announce whatever he has decided. I think many people are pretty certain about what that is, but many also speculated that he may do this before November. Senator, is that good or bad for Republicans in the midterms? Does this help them or hinder them if he announces before?
Yeah, Donald Trump is a great person to have on your team when you're running in a primary. Not so much when you're running in a general, particularly if you're in a contested race in a purple state. And having Donald Trump as a candidate before the midterm elections would not help Republican chances for picking up House and Senate seats in contested races across the country. I think this would probably be the most damaging thing Donald Trump could do for his presidential candidacy. Getting involved in the primary before the midterm, having every candidate have to say whether you're endorsing Donald Trump, whether you're going to support Donald Trump for president, making him the central point of their campaigns, which the media will do and his opponents will do, will cost Republican seats. And if that happens, you're going to have a lot of Republicans not happy with Donald Trump after this midterm. So I think it's wise for him to step back, wait till after the election, and let him be the candidate, not get mixed up in all these other races.
And you both have run for president. Governor, I'll give you the last word here on this. Should he announce before? Does that hinder Republicans if he announces before November?
Well, I completely concur with my good friend Rick Santorum, who is usually right, and once again he is tonight. And the big reason, quite frankly, is that it's frankly bad form to inject yourself in a race prior to an election being settled. I think you need to wait until the dust settles on the 2022 election before you start making yard signs up for 2024. It's confusing. So I'll go ditto to Senator Santorum.
Bringing the ditto back. I like that. Yeah, it is. I like what you said. It's good form. It's good leadership to put others before yourself. Don't make it about you. Make it about them. And then you can make it about yourself after November. And you can talk about the great, big wave, red wave that we're expected to see there. We'll have to wait and see what he does. A lot of speculating so far. Governor Huckabee, Senator Santorum, always good to see you both. Thanks for being here this evening.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you.